running in the darkness to stay out of the light. Voices all around me trying to tell me I'm fine, but everything inside of me says something's not right. Gotta find myself, trying to find mine. I could see you.
I'm here today to talk with Brandon Meyer about A.S.K. So Brandon, thank you, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And can you tell me a little bit about Chris? So Chris is the character you play.
Chris is the character that I play. He is the best friend and sort of the only trustworthy person that Damien can actually, relate to, confide with in his life. And the reason behind that is because they grew up together, essentially. They knew each other throughout high school at that stage where they were both awkward, where everybody's awkward in high school.
Sure.
So they knew each other growing up, and they were both one and the same. Essentially, that's how I feel that they were. They were completely the same, both awkward, both just socially not with it. And at some point, they sort of split into, one matured and the other one kind of just stayed constant, He liked to think he matured. Chris likes to think he did. I really don't think he did mature. He's actually still the same. He's just able to cover that up better because he's an actor.
Right.
He's an up-and-coming actor. He's about to make it big. He likes to think that he's bigger than he is. But he and Damien are essentially one and the same almost, except for the sort of psychosis. They're crazy in their own right. Chris is kind of insane.
He's fun.
About himself.
Right.
Like he'll murder himself and just love that.
Right.
Bathe in his own blood. But I feel that he's really the only character that will hear him to an extent, that will actually take the time to really care about him, whether he doesn't show it too much because he's in his own little world. But I think that the fact that he takes time, to go meet up with him at a cafe, takes that time, whether it's 2 minutes or 1 minute, whether he's not paying attention at all, the fact that he's there is because he holds that past as something that means something to him.
Right.
Because maybe Chris is also thinking that Damien's probably the only guy that he can actually trust as well. So
So share with me a little bit about how you got involved with A.S.K.
So I'm still part of this sort of showcase theater group. It's a small group that they put on just stage performances every once in a while, where I met Adrian. Adrian came in. I was there probably 6 months before he came in. And that's where I met him. So I was, we worked together a little bit, read some stuff on stage, and got to feel each other out, and a friendship formed through that. And just one day he comes up to me, he's talking about this project, and sort of pulls me aside. He's like, spits it to me, and he's like, would you like to be involved? I said, absolutely. I didn't know what it was. I don't care. I'd be involved. I just want to. I just love the craft of it, so.
Right.
And, and also the idea of me sort of jumping on as an executive producer.
Oh, that was the next question I was going to ask.
That just was, to get that under my belt. And I said absolutely, because I work at Sony Pictures for Crackle, which is, don't mean the name drop. So. But it's an online digital network, and it does fare towards something that I think A.S.K. Is looking for, something that's no boundaries, uncensored, and it's online digital entertainment where this future is coming to. Right. Everything's going online.
Right.
So, with that in mind, and also wanting to actually be in it, to some extent, but I had to audition first, of course. So, with that said, Adrian's like, hey, I can get your foot in the door, come to the audition and do what you got to do. That's what I can do for you, which was really all I could even want.
Right.
So he hooked me up with that, and came in the day of the audition for the role of Chris, dressed as a douchebag actor, because, to be honest, it's very against type. I really had to go above and beyond to really get to that point, because
really
humbleness is where I come from, clearly. So I had to go out and buy this, douchebag wardrobe, and it really cost me a lot of money. I really got into it, some of which just is leftover,
And apparently you nailed it, because,
I just, times are rough, so I just have to kind of dress how I can, Anyways, came to the audition. I was nervous. I mean, clearly, auditions are really nervy. Yeah. Came in, walked in the room. He's in there. Boom. He was in there as well. And it's like, okay. The cool thing was that I got to read with Adrian, who I've read with before, so the sort of how we know each other and how we get each other's vibe as you're reading a script, and it's
Right.
actually, it was more comforting than anything else, because I know what he's going to throw at me, as
Right.
he knows what I'm going to throw at him, just things like that. So the work and the compatibility, and the fact that Damien and Chris are best friends,
Sure.
we're friends, so it
Right.
actually worked out relatively well. So it was more comforting walking into that and knowing that, okay, I'm going to read with him.
Right.
And
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, when you guys were filming, it felt that way.
Yeah.
You know, watching you guys
It's-
when you were filming, it felt very
absolutely.
natural with the two of you when you
Absolutely.
were sitting in the cafe. It was just.
yeah, from what I've worked in the past, it's a major thing to really know who you're working with.
Sure.
You know, even to do rehearsals or anything like that. We didn't need to do rehearsals because we've been rehearsing for a year or something like that
Right.
in that class, so we've known how to do that with each other, and you can sense that.
Right.
I really sensed it while we were going at each other in that scene, that you know, there's a friend.
Yeah.
It's really just us, Chris and Damien, because he is exactly like Damien, and I'm not like Chris at all, and so it was just fun to do that back and forth. It was really cool.
So, Brandon, describe Ask to me in 3 words.
Oh, see, the whole time I was thinking about that. I'm gonna actually put in 4th.
Okay.
An incredibly absurd ride. That's what it is.
Perfect.
It's just an up and down roller coaster. It's just it's awesome. It's fun. It's fun. That's
Yeah.
what it is. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very
Trying to
much.
find mine, but where do I go when I think I lost myself?